Alrighty, welcome to the Lockdown podcast. Continuing to pick apart as we do of Raw and SmackDown, and obviously we are T minus about 6 days from WrestleMania Night One, so we have a little bit to get to, and let's just roll through it. So we got to see Raw kick off CM Punk with basically another pipe bomb, basically
Best
spitting
one ever.
facts, spitting facts, and and just raw, you know. And I like that he just didn't hold back. And I honestly think to a certain extent that this wasn't really scripted. This was, here's your talking points, run it, do it, because CM Punk is literally one of the greatest mic guys ever. So I think they just kind of let him cook. Um, so definitely that was nice to hear a little bit of truth bombs. Um, so the next match we had was Austin Theory and LA Knight. Obviously, LA Knight does take the loss. Go figure, to outside interference. Nothing really too surprising. And so after all the iShow Speed involvement, Adam Pearce basically comes out and says, "Hey, guess what? Now you're in a match." And so now we're subjected to the Vision and iShow Speed versus the Usos and LA Knight for WrestleMania. So not defending their titles, but having a match at WrestleMania. So I think I think we're probably on the same thing about, the celebrity involvement in this aspect. Um and I'm not mad about it. But so so Finn Balor was supposed to have a match with JD McDonough or Domina. Yeah. And
Bobblehead.
obviously it didn't happen. Go figure. And I love that I wish they would have, it had been a surprise for WrestleMania that the Demon was going to come back. I wish they would have left that big factor, but they didn't. And so now we already know that we're getting the Demon at WrestleMania, which I'm all for. I We've been, chatting for literally months and months and months and months about the implosion of Judgment Day and everything else, which I think Roxanne Perez is the next exit in the Judgment Day, just because the interaction with her and Liv and back, basically saying, "Hey, Finn, you know, basically screwed us over, blah blah blah," and so I definitely leaning towards Roxanne Perez being the next to leave. I don't know what she'll be doing, but I guess we'll play the wait and see game. And so next we had AJ Lee was having an interview with Michael Cole, obviously interrupted by one Becky Lynch. And so we get this little small package um, bit between those two. And I think AJ Lee makes a lot of valid points, is that really, the women, of the early 2000s, like they didn't explode, but they set the groundwork for what the women's division is now. Um, so I there's a lot of truth to it. I mean, you have a plethora of women from the early 2000s that laid the groundwork, yeah, laid the groundwork for what the women's division is now. Um, Next we had Bailey versus Lash Legend. No real surprise, but Bailey does get the win, and with a little bit of an assist from Lara Valkyria. And I don't think that they're really building much for this women's fatal four-way tag match. I think it is probably one of the least built matches on the WrestleMania card. It's like, hey, we'll have a couple one-on-ones leading up till WrestleMania, and that's all we're doing. I mean, there's no like outside involvement. There's no all this drama. It's literally just, yeah, we have a fatal four way, and
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't seem like there's much of a build to it. Now, we've been kind of wondering why this whole Gunther and Seth Rollins thing even happened, and I really don't know. I think from what you kind of heard was basically Gunther was taking offense to Seth Rollins basically putting his hands on Paul Heyman, and that's basically the premise of his, attacking Seth Rollins. And I don't know. Again, this is honestly one of those quick matches they threw together, for a WrestleMania match. So there really, again, no build to this. This is just filler as it was. So we have Penta, Javon Evans, and Dragon Lee versus Los Americanos, and so we're on the premise of basically the 5-person ladder match, and I'm not mad that Rey Mysterio just decided he would include himself in the ladder match, but it's Rey Mysterio.
Hey.
I think he's worthy of adding himself to matches. Now, Rhea and Io, obviously, Io being back from, I guess, technically SmackDown, coming to Raw, and we get Io Sky and Rhea Ripley versus Michin and B-Fab. And obviously, Rhea and Io do get the win, but I don't know about these outfits that Jade Cargill is wearing. I don't know.
At least they're staying on.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
for now.
Right. And so at the end of the night, obviously we're supposed to have a contract signing, and we all know how contract signings go in WWE. And
they go fantastic.
Right. I think there's been like 3 in the last 10 years that didn't have a fight breakout. But so between Obafemi and Brock Lesnar, and people have been chatting online about, this whole matchup and everything, and I have said it's a passing of the torch moment. And because Brock still is ruthless, he's dangerous, and now Obafemi's on the block, and yeah, I definitely looking forward to this match. And obviously the contract signing doesn't go as it does. Go figure. So we get to SmackDown, and basically Io Sky ends up challenging Jade Cargill, obviously getting a big fat L. And then again with this tag match stuff, we get Alexa Bliss and Bayley. Like, there's nothing really exciting about that.
Yeah.
Now we do obviously finally get to see Royce Keys have an actual match against Berto, and I know people have been, inkling of, okay, this is a pointless match, but they did the same thing with Obafemi, where they gave him a bunch of wash matches until they gave him something serious, and I think that's what Royce Keys is going to do, and I think that's the recipe they're going to go with. Now, we basically get told beforehand that Cody cannot put his hands on Pat McAfee.
Anybody cannot.
Yeah, and this is like the trope of all tropes, the recipe of all recipes, because we all know how eventually it was going to go. And so you have Cody going out there and basically being frustrated, but followed by Pat McAfee, and then obviously Randy helps, and obviously they beat the freaking brakes off of Cody Rhodes. No real surprise. And so I think we're probably not alone in kind of being frustrated that out of all the people they could pick to be in the storyline, they picked Pat McAfee. And
yeah,
I mean, like, what are your guys' thoughts on the whole Pat McAfee thing?
Tim?
I'll let you go first.
All right.
I usually always go first.
I don't mind Pat McAfee being on the card. I, like a lot of other people, do not need Pat McAfee in this match with Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes. Like a lot of people commenting on the internet and even in our group chats, Randy versus Cody needs nothing. They have history. They can. There's so many other people that they could call to like side with Randy or with Cody to give it room to breathe. You know, to make it more interesting. Rather, Pat McAfee mudding this down definitely reeks of old regime ideas of trying to make something interesting. It was fine. Put Pat McAfee in a celebrity match, put him in a battle royal or something or another. There's so many other ways to get Pat McAfee over and more interesting as a character, as an in-ring character, as opposed to aligning him with Randy Orton at what should be an incredible story that's taken 20 plus years to write. You know what I'm saying? So Pat
Yeah.
McAfee being in WrestleMania, all right, fine. Pat McAfee being in WrestleMania, having business with Randy and Cody's match, not good. Not good for business at all.
Me, I don't mind it. I love the truth and straight up what he speaks. He's speaking to how us fans feel about ticket prices and how we're getting sick and tired of Cody Rhodes. Oh, Cody Rhodes. Getting
Yeah.
really sick of it. Don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Cody Rhodes, but I'm tired of him as a champion. He needs to move on, give Orton this title. And yeah, pretty much. Hopefully, by my honest opinion, it feels like Randy Orton and Pat is not much of a heel. It feels like Cody Rhodes might be the one that's going to slowly turn heel.
Yeah.
Because he's getting heated and getting hated. And I'm hoping he brings the black hair.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
And the thing is, even Cody Rhodes has mentioned, the whole black hair and kind of that whole thing. And so, I mean, I don't think it's out of the realm of possible for us to get kind of a heel Cody, but like, I don't want to get like a Drew McIntyre type Cody Rhodes where he's just a whining baby about everything. And, I don't want him to go that far down the rabbit hole. But I definitely think that, I think we've said numerous times on this podcast is, like we're over Cody, we're over QB1, we're over all this stuff. I mean, literally Cody Rhodes is just the new Roman Reigns. But like he's not Roman
Washed
Reigns.
down Roman Reigns.
Yeah. I mean, you can love him or hate him, but like Roman Reigns has a presence and he's over even when he doesn't show up. And so I'm done with the mundane repetitiveness that Cody Rhodes is brought. And so yeah, I just don't want to keep hearing the same spiel. And I want Randy to get number 15.
Yeah.
And I want him to obviously move beyond Triple H's shadow, who's also at 14. To basically put him in the top 3 of greatest of all time.
Agreed.
And so I think that we're ready for that. We need to move on. We can't just keep on falling back and relying on Cody Rhodes to guide the ship. I think there's a depth to the roster of possibilities, you know, so I think we need to explore those and see what happens. There's plenty of people on the roster that are over and that could be deserving of, title shots. Now, speaking of title shots, so the next match we got on Raw was Jacob Fatu versus Tama Tonga. And obviously Jacob Fatu smashes him. And then obviously we get the emergence of Drew McIntyre and just beating the holy piss out of him. And I like this build. It being an unsanctioned match at WrestleMania, like pretty much nothing's off the table. And I think that the whole unsanctioned thing is basically the closest thing to giving us a Hell in a Cell match. And so I love the build of this match just because it doesn't have to be overly complicated. Yeah. So now,
Yeah.
so the next bit of the night we had Sami Zayn obviously coming out, followed by Trick Williams and Lil Yachty. And I don't know much about Lil Yachty. Not a ton. And like I feel like most fans probably don't.
I don't.
And I
Mhm.
think for the handful that do know, it makes sense. But I think to the baseline fan, they're just like, who's this guy? What's the point of him being out here? Yada yada yada. But I mean, I think they're really trying hard with the celebrity, involvement WrestleMania to basically push ticket sales because they know their heads are underwater
Mhm.
about this. And I mean, I don't know how they're going to pull off WrestleMania with tickets because the honest truth is that they ain't sold nothing. I mean, I don't even think they've sold 40,000 for each night, somewhere in that realm.
Well, let's
And
find out.
when you have a stadium of roughly 70,000, I just think that they're they're definitely biting off more than they could chew. So
According to one article, we've got tracking nearly 20% behind last year's 2025's ticket sale pace with 9 days remaining. Another post is saying something like from WrestleTix, that's WrestleTix. Available tickets 45.52, combo tickets 14.34. Current setup 45,331. Tickets distributed 39,000. Let's see total number of seats. Cheapest ticket available according to WrestleTix is $215.50 standard admission. I've never
and
been
that's
to a
still
WrestleMania. I've never been to a WrestleMania. So if we put that in perspective, is that for general admission when you two went to WrestleMania, was that even close? Was it double? Was it triple? Can you let me know what I know you've mentioned something on previous podcasts, but just for memory's sake, what did you guys pay for your WrestleMania tickets?
I think both our tickets were in the 60s.
yeah, it was
They, let's say both nights were both in the 60s, and I think the only thing we paid a little bit more was for SmackDown and Hall of Fame. I think that was like $70.
So
Yeah,
that was
I
an
mean-
individual. So let's say you paid 60 times 2, so that's $60 per night. That's 120. So 120. So for $200. So I'm coming up with $200, saying like 120 for both nights, and then you paid 70 for like the Raw after WrestleMania and the Hall of Fame, right? Or so like around $200. So you guys got like 4 events from WWE for 200 for currently for the price of
nosebleed.
just for
I mean,
the price
yeah, I
of
mean, and I
general admission this year.
yeah,
when
I
you
mean,
two
I
went.
and I looked at and I just looked up my like when we went to SummerSlam 2 years ago, like it was like 210 for 2 tickets to SummerSlam.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much. I think I paid about the same.
So I mean, it's you'd rather have asses in seats, but you're so concerned about money, but yet
Mhm.
like you can't make like prices decent. I mean, and yeah, they're having these 25% off sale things, so maybe those 200 roughly are probably down to maybe 140, 160 maybe, but it's like it's still not justifiable. And then it's like it's going to be an interesting WrestleMania. And I think the only way they're going to have the arena somewhat packed out is going to be third party ticket sales that are probably going to be cheap. They're probably going to be like $100 or something in late market because they want to fill seats and people are going to wait
Or
till
they
the last
just
second.
or they just buy the tickets in comp. I mean, if they want to have like a full house, they would have to buy the tickets and then comp the tickets and just give away tickets. And they would have to do that this week, right? Because WrestleMania is Saturday and Sunday. So I even with, even with a major brand coming in and, making a deal saying like, promote our product and we'll cover 25% of all your ticket sales that you sell for the rest of the week, right? It's still, that's probably, 6 or 7 thousand tickets that they've got to like make up. If the venue is what, 45,000, and they've sold like 39,000, so that's like 6,000, if they have it set up, roughly 6,000. I'm just using broad numbers, right? It still, it has something to say. I don't think our market, the current economy, should have ticket prices like that. And then you have other promotions that aren't doing that. They're saying we would rather have everybody come in and enjoy our product and
Agree.
go home feeling that their dollars they got more than what they paid for. Great experiences. They got to see their favorite professional wrestlers do their thing, and they weren't, they didn't go into debt to have this experience. And for them to put the ticket sales as part of the storyline, I think it's a sign of the times. Really, the blurring of kayfabe, where it's a real talking point, and people are not happy with it, and it's not a good talking point. If you've got to like try to spin ticket sales as part of a storyline to get people interested in your product, I think you're doing something wrong.
Agree.
Or may
100% agree.
or maybe that's the point. maybe
Well,
that's the point
the previous regime would have not let this get out of hand.
yeah.
And the fact that they like you have all these sponsors, you have literally sponsors on the mat, you have sponsors around the thing, you have DoorDash, you got Uber Eats, you got all these different things, Subway, Slim Jims. I mean, you have all this sponsorship money, so why the fuck can you not make tickets feasible? You already have this revenue from your advertisers. So there's no there's nothing that in my mind that can wrap my head around them being able to justify.
I think it's just TKO. I think TKO is like so far in depth on their money and crap like that, since this is the way they want to do it.
Well, and the thing is that you shouldn't put that on the fans. You shouldn't put that on the people that are going to be the asses in seats in going to the shows and the arenas and everything else. I mean, and I just, yeah, I think that it's freaking WrestleMania. You want to pack that house. You want to have as many people there as humanly possible, and have the crowd involvement and all the fun things that come with WrestleMania. But when you make things out of touch with reality with most people, no one's gonna want to do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
you've begun to see. I think you've even begun to see Green Shirt Guy be absent.
He's been lately on different sides of the ring.
So
And you know what? If we were to use that as a measuring stick, either something's changed with him, like maybe maybe he doesn't want to bring any more attention to himself, or maybe his maybe a little bit of his um backstage support, or people that were able to get him in are no longer there, so he's got to change something. Maybe he's looking at the tickets and being like, I don't know, bro, maybe I got to find a cheaper seat, I still want to go, so I mean, it can be any number of things, but the optics on it, how it looks to people generally just looking at it, it's telling a really, I think, telling an interesting story that people want to have a really great experience at a wrestling show, especially WrestleMania. But there's got to be a point where you got to say, this is ridiculous. Like,
I agree. Right now, I
yeah.
pulled up the Saturday night ticket prices on Ticketmaster, and they're all showing the 25% off. For section 334, and that's up in the nosebleed, kind of one section below the nosebleed. It's like pointing towards the stage. For 2 tickets. Let me take that back. For 1 ticket, it's showing. I'm guessing the ticket prices have gone down, because this is the lowest I've seen, and the lowest is $164.20.
Yeah, that seems about right. If with Seth's math and my math, if you do 216 minus 25%, it's 162. So without that, that discount that's being given by another company, a whole nother brand, it's saying like, yo, show our truck, promote us, or whatever have you, and we'll cover 25% of all ticket sales.
I'm gonna look at Sunday night.
Yeah, it's
the lowest I see for Sunday night, for kind of up in the nosebleed, is the lowest I see right now is $209.43.
And that's not even including fees.
Right.
The fees are gonna be another $50. So you're talking like 260, 270. I mean, like that's the kicker. That's why like some of these, a lot of like with the exception of like TickPick, which is what I use for my stuff because it doesn't have fees. But they'll slap you with freaking $50, $60 a ticket and fees.
Mm-hmm.
So like you'll see, okay, yeah, you might see 162.
Yeah,
but after they slap the fees on you, you're going to be probably still over that 25% will come right back.
Yeah, I was by looking at some of these tickets and clicking on certain sections. It talks about how many tickets are left total for sale. Let me pick the floor.
Mm-hmm.
A4 by the ring. There's 98 tickets left in that area, and that grand total is $1,164.55.
So
for 98 tickets that are left.
So I'm on the floor and I'm sorting by best seats on Ticketmaster.com, and I am seeing $12,032.75 for section A4 row 2.
Jesus, just for one fucking ticket.
One ticket, and if you want it both nights, and that's with the 25% off that's being offered by Dodge Ram, right?
Okay, hold up. Yeah. I clicked on one seat just for one fucking seat. By the ring. 16,040 16,040 and 25 cents.
Like no, that is
crap.
That is someone's income for a year in America in 2026. You know what I'm saying?
Holy,
this is what you're doing, WWE, TKO. I mean, this is preposterous. This is diabolically.
It's
wrong.
legitimate. It is wrong on so many levels. And it is just like, dude, like I could have a 50-yard line row 2 ticket at a football game for probably $500 to a football game.
This is absurd. This is the type of thing that makes people say, I used to be a WWE fan. This type of financial behavior, you're putting a burden on people who've probably been lifelong WWE fans to do this because for what reason? It's not for the memory to put this type of financial burden. People have probably gone to Disney World multiple times over multiple days and spent less than one night at WrestleMania 2026.
And it's crazy is that going to whatever one of the Disney World, whatever, is cheaper to go to one in Japan than it is to go here.
Yes, 100%. And for this to become a part of a storyline in 2026 for professional wrestling, this right here is the reason why people revolt. They decide this is not the product for me anymore, and they move on to something else. If this is not stopped, it's only going to get worse because it becomes elitist. And professional wrestling, last time I checked, was for everybody. Everybody could see something in the characters in the story. This is absurd. And anyone who said that this was a great idea for a price of a ticket for WWE should be fired. This is criminal in my opinion. There's just no way.
So even night one, by clicking on one ticket by the ring, is for 25% off. It's not doing jack shit to this ticket. It was showing it's a little cheaper than night 2. Just for that one ticket was like 12,000 something.
Yep.
What I saw
Yep.
on top of the 25%.
And that is the best seat that they had available, closest to the ring. So that is
That was front row.
yeah. And so that, to me, that's still absurd for a professional wrestling show that is supposed to be like, you know, that's supposed to be the best of the best. I know we're on this deep trail, rabbit hole, if you would.
Okay,
but I
so
gotta look at this.
I'm gonna give you some numbers and tell me if you don't have a heart attack. So WrestleMania 24, the average ticket price was $89, and it pretty much lingered around that until about WrestleMania 29. Average ticket $164, and then WrestleMania 35 all the way up to $268. And then it kind of went down to WrestleMania 40. Average ticket price $341. And now WrestleMania 41, the average ticket price is $635. And WrestleMania 1, they were $15.
Right, which that we're not including in these numbers like the inflation of dollars, right? We're just saying like,
Right.
you know, what it costs from then to now. So $15.
Well, $15 is the epitome of $43 now.
Right. All right. So 40.
I was say back then it was a little cheaper. A
Yeah.
lot of shit was cheaper.
A lot of
so
things
really
now, but you know. So if we were to look at a WrestleMania ticket at general admission, if it was to happen today and the cost with inflation included, $15 back then is $43 now. So it tells a much bigger story, but WWE, for better or for worse, has the ability to absorb costs, especially.
All right, I'm gonna drop me.
All right. WWE has the ability to absorb the cost of this and still make a profit.
Yeah, they're like I said, they have sponsorships that they've never had before.
Right.
They have probably at least a dozen, if not 24. Because when WWE was in town, I picked up some of the guys that did like the ring, where they replaced out the ring of every, the apron of every match, every, like, and so they have them in order, and it's just like, and you have so many, and we never had that back in Vinnie Mac's day, and yet we did just fine. And yet he created generational fan base, he created affordable entertainment, and now they're just, it's literally, it's robbery. Like, and the thing is like, it's become more about who can afford than making it affordable.
Right.
Because $16,000, who just, like, unless you're basically a millionaire, even if you were a millionaire, that's still $16,000 for 5 hours of entertainment. Right.
If you're a millionaire, you're not flinching at this, right? Because there's a lot of other revenue streams. You're going to make that back, and it's the experience. But at the same time, if you're a frugal person, a frugal millionaire, you're going to be like, I don't know, this better be exciting, this better be good. So just for me, I wanted to see like how much it would cost for like another promotions.
Well, AEW was no different. They're all in Wembley. I think the lowest ticket was like 130 something. So I mean, and then but their seats moving down were not, $16 million, you know, like
Right. So I'm looking at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Wrestle Kingdom, which is their WWE, which is their WrestleMania. So for 2 nights, you have a lot of stars. They're wrapping up stories or they're kicking off stories. So it's Japan's equivalent of WrestleMania. One person on Reddit said for row 2 and row 3, they paid 8,500 yen, Japanese yen, which translates to about $53 USD.
Yeah, that's gonna say if it be about 50 something in the US.
Yeah. So that's just second or third row. We don't, we don't know how much ringside first row seats. I can't seem to find it. But what I'm saying is for us, for people that want to go to WrestleMania and they want to have this WWE experience, you're charging $12,000 plus
Yeah,
for flow
well,
for
dude,
for
just wait to next year when they're overseas at whatever.
actually, well, depending on the wars, they're gonna have to pivot. But
right.
so I'm looking at just a regular all elite like Dynamite and Collision, right? Like tickets starting at just $37, and even down to the floor, the highest one is only $124.
For AEW.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean just for
Yeah,
minutes.
they say they're
Dynamite Collision, but I mean like either way, that's a house, that's a regular house show essentially,
cut.
and they're not breaking the freaking bank with it.
As to say, when I went to AEW for the first time, I had the lower bowl. I was kind of lined right up with the Titan, their entranceway. I think I only paid for 2 tickets. I think I paid about either it was 90 something or it was 112, somewhere around there.
And I'm looking at here at AEW Double or Nothing, and the highest ticket on the thing is only 1,050, and that's on the floor. And most of the floors are between $150 and $300. So it's like, you're gonna start pushing fan base to go elsewhere to get their wrestling fix. Is the general gist of what we're getting at.
Right.
Yeah,
I know we went down a rabbit trail on this, but at the same
Ricochet,
time,
baby.
yep, it's it does not make a financial sense when your seats are like when they cost this much.
Like, am I able to bring the seat home? Is it made of gold?
You know what?
Gold!
If you're paying that much money for general admission, there's gotta be like bonuses. Like, oh, you pay general admission, you get one free snack or whatever have you, or you get free food or something or another, because there's got to be an incentive to do this. I mean, $12,000.
Smack baby's ass.
You know what? $12,000? No, you don't. $12,000 for a ringside seat,
Like
and
boxing.
you're just and you're just watching the show. There's gotta be
if they said you get that, but then like let's say you get to do a photo op with backstage with a couple wrestlers or something, or you get a hoodie, you get a commemorative belt, something.
Yeah,
I mean, like
remember when you could buy seats? You can buy you could buy WrestleMania seats. Do I get to take this seat home? I just spent a car to be here for 4 or 5 hours. I'm taking this seat. I'm leaving here with something.
Right.
So
yeah.
That's obviously we could spend an entire podcast talking about how WWE has.
Well, so then let's get to the matches, and your winners, your losers, a slight reason why, because we got 13 matches in total. So Saturday, again, not in any specific order. We have Cody Randy. We have Stephanie Liv. We have Seth Gunther, AJ Becky, the Fatal 4-Way tag match, unsanctioned match, and we have the 6-man tag match. So let's just start off with a bang. So Cody versus Randy. I don't just want Randy to win. I need Randy to win. I need him to save professional wrestling from the mundane repetitiveness that is Cody Rhodes. That is my take. So who are you guys rolling with and why?
I'm going with Randy Orton. I'll be wearing my RKO shirt that he wears, not the bloody one. I need to get that one. Yeah, I'm going for Randy Orton.
I do want to see Randy Orton get his 15. I do want to see black hair Cody Rhodes. I need to see some paradigm shifts with Cody and his presentation. I think to tell a bigger story for Cody, not Randy necessarily, but for Cody, I want Randy to win, and I want Pat McAfee to be the reason why he did it, so we can get proper closure to Pat McAfee and him being on TV again, and we can start pushing Randy to possibly getting 16, maybe, and we can get black hair, all elite Cody, and we can have that character for our entertainment purposes. So, yeah, Randy's got it. Randy's got to win.
So Stephanie Vaquer and Liv Morgan. I honestly just want Stephanie to retain, but I want her to retain with outside involvement from Roxanne Perez, just to push that Judgment Day separation, if that's what they're trying to get away with, just because there was the subtle hints of the conversation in back, last week with Liv and Roxanne. So maybe this is the spot that Roxanne picks to screw Liv Morgan. So, what do you guys got?
I'm gonna go with Stephanie.
Yeah, although Stephanie's title reign has been a little stagnant, yeah, I do want to see more drama from Judgment Day. So Stephanie retaining, Roxanne and Liv starting the feud. Yeah, give me that. That could be interesting.
Okay, so Seth Rollins and Gunther. I really, honestly, if I'm being 100% honest, I don't care how this goes. I think even in whoever loses or whoever wins, there's going to be more, in the near future for this feud. I don't think WrestleMania is going to be the beginning and the end of this. I don't think Gunther's going to be like joining, the Vision or anything. But I think there's some kind of business transaction between the two. So,
I got Seth. I'll take Seth on this. He's returning from an injury. He's got beef. And Gunther's had a lot of really high profile wins. I think he can take a loss and it'll be all right.
I'll wait till you get his earbuds back in. Say me, I'm gonna go with Seth Rollins too. I think Seth will be good. I know it's just a filler type of match because I know everybody knew that it was supposed to be Gunther versus Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania for their feud they've been having, but Rey's out hurt. I can't remember what he's out hurt with, But it's
Well,
no,
well, I
he's
mean,
out.
Rey Mysterio is now in the ladder match, though.
He's in the ladder match.
Are you talking about Rey Phoenix?
Oh,
Because Mysterio is in the ladder match
oh,
now.
then it was Ray Phoenix. But yeah, I'm going with Seth because I think it'll be a good match. They both put on great matches. Usually they put on both. Gunter usually puts on 5-star matches. I think this will be another 5-star match.
Mm-hmm.
And then AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. I don't want to see AJ Lee win, but I don't want to see Becky Lynch win either. And because I think that either way this goes, like, it doesn't matter who's champion. There needs to be more competition for this title belt, and I don't care who comes out on top. I want to see, back to being more of a workhorse championship, and I don't want it to just be subjected to like 2 or 3 people fighting for the belt.
Agree.
Because that does nothing for the business. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at.
I like both, but I'm a big AJ Lee fan. I'm going with her on all the way.
I don't see AJ Lee making any new stars. I do see Becky making some new stars, elevating some people. Yeah, whatevs. Becky Lynch for it. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So the Fatal 4-Way for the Women's Tag Championships, Nia Jackson, Lash Legend being the champions versus Charlotte and Alexa versus Bayley and Lyra and the Bella Twins. And this one, I honestly want to see Bayley and Lyra win. But I also want to see them win, but not pin Nia Jax or Lash Legend to continue the storyline with Nia Jax and Lash Legend still being in the hunt. So because every time you have a championship like this, the match is, it's a fatal 4-way, so you don't have to technically the champions don't need to be pinned to win.
Pin or submitted.
Yeah. So I want Bayley and Lyra to win. The Bella Twins are just there as a nostalgia. Charlotte and Alexa already held the tag team championships for quite some time. So I'm kind of going with, I guess, the dark horse in this match. So I'm going with Bayley and Lyra.
I am going with Bayley's team too, but I can see the way WWE is. I can see them being douchebags that they are and giving the Bella Twins. I can't even freaking speak.
You got a freaking mouthful.
Yes. I'm going to say WWE might put it on them because making them another heel tag team. And
yeah,
they never held the tag team championships. I know Bayley's held it, and her tag team partners held it. I can see them giving it to the Bella Twins because they never held those titles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't see WWE not giving it to the Bella Twins. So yeah, I think the Bella Twins. Yeah.
All right. Well, the unsanctioned match between Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre, and
that's gonna be a brutal match.
I'm really tossed because, so if Jacob wins, we get to hear Drew McIntyre complain again about everything.
Like always.
Yeah, and so, but if Drew wins, then it's gonna be his weird flex, I guess. But I mean, other than the storyline of this match, like it's not for anything, it's not working towards anything. It is just let them fight. And I think the unsanctioned match is basically it parallels basically Obafemi and Brock Lesnar. So
Pretty much.
I think that's kind of what it is. And however it plays out, it's gonna be a great match. It's gonna be a brutal match. So yeah. So I mean that's kind of where I'm at.
I'm going with Jacob Fatu.
Same. I'm gonna do Jacob Fatu. He needs a big moment match.
He does.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that back. I'm gonna go with Drew. The main reason I'm gonna go with Drew, I don't see Jacob Fatu needed a big moment because he's had his big moment last year at WrestleMania winning the Intercontinental Championship. I'm gonna go with Drew. Just to make his ego more bigger than what it is.
Yeah. That can make sense. I want to go with Jacob because it puts Jacob in a dominant position. I don't think there's like a really dominant big man on SmackDown right now. One that's like, yeah, if you put him in a championship match, you're probably talking about a title change in hands. I got it. I'm gonna stay with Jacob. Yeah.
All right. Now the last match of obviously night one, we have the 6-man tag team match between Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and IShowSpeed versus the Usos and LA Knight. And I hate to say it, but this is a match that Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and IShowSpeed need to win because that's the heel thing to do.
Yeah.
And them being the tag champions, it really wouldn't do much for them if they lost at WrestleMania. So
I don't.
I will say that match I might be not even near my computer. I'll probably be cooking something and not even bothering watching it because I will probably snooze through it.
I think
the
Tim, I have to go take a shit moment.
Pretty damn much. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. There's great talent in that ring, in that match, but it's not a WrestleMania.
For you.
That's not a WrestleMania match. Sorry.
Yeah,
that's more of like a Raw or SmackDown or maybe an NXT match.
You know what?
Or maybe a house show.
That's why it's on a kickoff show. That's 100% why it's on a kickoff show.
They're still doing kickoff shows?
This is what from how I understand it, this is the kickoff show.
Then I just don't give a shit. Then I won't even be watching it.
I don't know if this match isn't interesting to me, but yes, I'm going to go with Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and IShowSpeed. They're not going to have a celebrity lose on their first match. I mean, they could if that celebrity was going to keep going and going and going, doing some other stuff, make that transition.
Jelly Roll lost. He's kind of back in the fray. So, I mean.
Yep. They also brought him back, right? So there's more story to tell with him. So, but I don't know where IShowSpeed sits going, in the future. So yeah, I think Team Heels get it. Usos and LA Knight. Whatevs. I mean, Yeah. Yeah. So to
Or,
me, because they say the first two matches featured in the first hour on ESPN2, this means kickoff, to me. And I think the unsanctioned match will kick off night one, and then we get to, undercard, and then we get to the main card, and then,
I guess we'll definitely see how it plays out.
yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
true.
now Sunday, obviously, we're going to be doing the live stream, but
Mhm.
um, basically probably start the show once it actually gets into the actual matches. But so CM Punk, Roman Reigns, and I'm going with CM Punk retaining, and
Good choice.
Roman can go back to doing his breaks in his disappearing act as he does, because at least CM Punk shows up every week. And we don't need another part-time distant champion again. And as much as I like Roman, I enjoy champion showing up. So
I'm gonna go with Roman, and CM Punk needs a break. They'll probably give him a break after this. I do like Roman being a champion. No, I don't like him not being at every show. But as you were saying, like, CM Punk showing up every week after week and that sort of thing. What dawned on me is that part of Roman's contract, right? It's what he negotiated or whatever have you, or that's what they're saying, whatever. I wonder how much extra time off he's taking to manage not having another reoccurrence of his leukemia numbers getting out of sync, getting out of whack. He's, a reoccurrence of leukemia flaring up or whatever have you. So by him being a part timer, it means it extends his career of he was showing up every day, or every week, that he might run into another problem with his leukemia not being managed. And then he's gone, and then he might not be able to come back because he can't get his leukemia under control.
So
That's
then
the only
why
reason.
have him win? Then why have him win if
Because
there's too many looming factors?
it tells a better story. It because they can always pivot with that story. So like, it's not movies that he's taking time off. It's because of his health. It's because,
But if he's champion and stuff goes awry, how do they take the belt off him?
you know what? With Roman, I think what you do is you actually vacate it and we get a tournament. With anybody else, it's like, ouch, that sucks. That's sorry for you. But because we have a history, we have something in his story that says, oh, by the way, if we need to, we can fall back on this, which is really dirty, really horrible. But if it's an actual occurrence and he's like, hey, I can't do this um right now, here's the championship because I've,
Yeah.
it makes sense. It's more excusable,
Right.
from a general consensus is what I'm saying. But that's the reason why I'm thinking I want to go with Roman. Also, too, I think it tells a really great story for Roman still being the tribal chief, and being a dominant champion. Um, so as much as we've got everyone, would like to like say CM Punk still has got it, still can do it. Um, I don't need CM Punk as the Raw champion, um, in order for him to have credibility. I need that championship to be on someone who can grow a new generation of interest, a new fan base. And I think Roman Reigns can do that by dropping it to Obafemi. plain and simple. I don't CM Punk. If I had to choose between Obafemi, who he's taking the title off of, it'll be Roman Reigns, because Roman Reigns will teach him how to carry it as a big man. CM Punk wouldn't. Not that he couldn't teach him how to be a solid professional wrestler.
Yeah.
I don't see the story with that. And there's a lot more interest with Roman Reigns being a champion for me than it would be with CM Punk.
Makes sense.
All right, Tim.
I'm going with CM Punk.
We knew you were going with CM Punk, but
I'm going with CM Punk because I don't want to need a part-time fucking champion. And I don't need to deal with another champion that's going to hold a fucking title for 3-4 years. No, I'm good. Don't get me wrong. I like Roman. I think he's a great guy. Great superstar. 5-star match, man. Main event, man. But no, I'm going to stick with my boy, CM Punk, all the way. Because he can hold that title. He makes that title. He could drop bombshells after bombshells on all these damn bronies and all that. I'm going with CM Punk 100% all the way. It's going to be a great match. Great storytelling from both sides. I think it's going to be a great one. I think it's going to be probably the best match of the night.
All right. So next one we have is Jade Cargill versus Rhea Ripley. And I'm crossed between what I want and what I know would push a good storyline. I want Rhea to win, but I think if we're going to get some form of believability from Jade Cargill, who's defended her title pretty much maybe once or twice since she's had it, I think the ultimate test is if she beats Rhea, then she can, throw her flexing around. But so I'm kind of crossed because what I want and what I know is going to move storylines and believability, because full well I am the biggest shit talker of Jade Cargill. And
Logan Paul.
In Logan Paul. So I mean, and again, it's creative. It's not her. I just point at her because I can. But so I just, so I mean, Jade Cargill winning would move storyline. Rhea Ripley would just be the better pick. So kind of on the fence. So
I love Rhea. I think she's a great wrestler. I'm gonna go with Jade because this will help push her career more into the company and show who she is, and it will show that she can handle fighting the best and the powerhouses like Rhea. Me personally, I think Rhea's like another version of China, and I could say Jade's like a black version of China, and she has the freaking build. And the story people behind the scenes are doing her terrible. I know she could do great. I'm going with Jade because this will help push her career more into the company and put more eyes on her.
Yeah. Barring like a massive issue in that match. I've got Jade, and the massive issue would be like just inconsistencies with Jade in the match. I think sometimes the big stage or high profile matches can rattle her a little bit. But being in the ring with someone like Rhea will definitely teach her how to manage that. As long as she hits her spots, does what what is asked of her and does it to the best of her ability. I don't see why Jade is dropping that championship unless they just want to restart the entire women's division. And Rhea's a good person to restart the entire division with.
Agree.
Yep. So I've got Jade.
All right. All right. So the next one we have the Demon Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio, and without a shadow of a doubt, I want Finn Balor to win because you don't bring back the Demon to lose.
Unless you're Vince McMahon, but I digress. Yeah.
So
Yep. Yeah, I got Finn Balor. Yeah, Finn. Just give me Finn.
I am going with Finn Balor all the way. I do like Dominic Mysterio. With this match with Finn, he's going to have with the Demon Finn, might help push Dominic a little bit more.
Yep.
And make him a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go with Finn, but I think it's gonna be a good match. And as long as we all know Dominic's gonna have a little bit of outside interference, try to, but I'm going with Finn.
All right, so Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams for the Men's United States. I honestly, I want Sami to retain, but yet somehow still put over Trick Williams. And I think if anybody can do that, it's Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Because he has the ability, because a lot of wrestlers do have the ability to, even in victory, they still put over the person that lost over. And so, I don't think this is quite Trick Williams' time. But I think getting him on the main stage of WrestleMania is the point in and of itself.
Mm-hmm.
Just seeing a lot of new faces on, the WrestleMania card in its entirety, is good for business in general. And it's good for, for new talent to, really get a taste of the big time.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. But I wouldn't be against Trick Williams winning. So
yeah, I agree with your take. It might not be Trick's time. And getting more eyes on him, I think will only push his mystique up. But also Sami could tolerate a loss at WrestleMania, especially if the numbers games gets to it. Like if Little Yachty does some type of interference and Trick capitalizes, just like Sami capitalized on Carmelo Hayes. I think I'm going to go with Trick because I think Trick and Carmelo running it back, that feud back on the main roster, could be good TV.
Yeah, I mean, and they have a lot of history dating back to NXT days where Trick honestly was more of a background character to Carmelo Hayes. And so I think that it would not be bad to run it back, just because, again, the best storylines have a good history. So I think, yeah, I mean, this could go anywhere.
I'm going with Trick.
Yeah. I think that's a good call.
All right. Well, I'll get to the last one because I'm sure we're gonna pick that apart. But so the Intercontinental Championship ladder match: Penta, Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, JD McDonough, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio. I honestly see Javon Evans winning this, and I say that because he's the young OG, man. I mean, he's become a rising star out the gate.
I was gonna say, yeah, he's 21.
I mean, I think that again, Penta could take a loss. He's a veteran. He's not like, he's not some newbie. I don't think Dragon Lee's. I don't think this is his time. I don't think this has anything to do with him. JD McDonough, I really don't think there's anything for this. Rusev, I mean, he's just the Bulgarian that's going to be a brute in this match. And then you have Rey Mysterio, just the wily veteran, and I don't think he's going to steal the spotlight from anybody. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sticking with Javon on this one.
I'm gonna go with him too. I'm going with him. He's tossed up there as the number one pick for me. If I'm gonna go with my second pick out of that ladder match, I'm gonna go with Rusev.
Yeah. I'm gonna copy Tim. Yeah, I don't see Penta retaining. Yeah, either Javon Evans or Rusev. However, my dark horse is JD McDonough. I know that's
I could see that.
Because it then, it gives him credibility as the next up to lead Judgment Day in its new formation, whatever that settles down and looks like. Yeah. And also JD is kind of a workhorse,
He is.
Yeah. Yeah. So it could be a reward for him for just being
he's got a neck of steel.
Yeah. Really.
Yeah, he's a big bobblehead.
Yep. So I
mean so basically the skinny of this is that, it really could be anybody.
Well,
and
I would definitely say it's not going to be Rey or Dragon Lee or Penta. And Rey doesn't need another championship run, and I doubt if he's in contention backstage. Dragon Lee, like you said, he is. I don't think it's his time yet. I think he does get a singles championship this year. I just don't think it's at WrestleMania. And Penta doesn't need to retain. He's Penta. He's got, plain and simple. I think Javon Evans, putting it on him just for his ability to entertain, and he's just been really consistent in the ring. Rusev, because he came back, and I think it's a good reward for him. To give him some credibility. Yep. And then JD McDonough is just as a dark horse because WWE is oftentimes screws over people. But yeah, it could be anyone, but unfortunately I don't think it's going to be either Penta or Dragon Lee or Rey. Yeah.
All right. Well, the creme de la creme, Obafemi, Brock Lesnar. And I think Obafemi 1,000%, because Brock is passing the torch to the next big thing. And Obafemi is the next big thing.
Just knowing WWE, I know that they could just screw everybody and just say, we're just gonna, it's gonna be Brock, and your build up for this match was him putting you over. But I do want to see Obafemi. I think the bigger crime in this is that this match is on ESPN as opposed to Rock Solid on the PLE. Like as this is main event worthy. This really is. This is main event worthy. This is like one of your last three matches. I think that's the bigger crime. However, I think a lot of wrestlers will tell you, hey, either I want to kick off the show or I want to end the show. That's where, because if you kick off the show, you're setting the pace, you're setting the tone for what people can expect for the show. So with that being said, I don't. Yeah, I'm disappointed that it's in the first hour on ESPN. You know what? Unless they're doing a simulcast where it's on ESPN, then it moves and Netflix or wherever wherever it's going to be. The PLE is being broadcasted. So if that's the case,
broadcast on ESPN.
Oh, so then you have to have like ESPN Plus or Hulu or something or
like
another.
that.
Yeah, so to watch the rest of it. So, but again, I don't know if I would want this to kick off the show. I would rather have the United States Championship kick off the show.
Same.
And then the Intercontinental, and then the rest of the card. But like Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar, I think
I'd rather see their match before CM Punk and Roman's match to kind of push CM Punk and Roman to do better than their match.
Oh, which I think that they will. Let's not even get it twisted. But this Oba Femi versus Brock Lesnar, this needs to be like, you need to celebrate this because this could be a talking point for a
they
couple
better
of
be
months.
having that ring holding up pretty well for these two big boys.
Yeah. So yeah. I think that's my complaint about this card right now is Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar opening, being on the kickoff for Sunday night. Yeah, I don't think I want that. But at the same time, with me saying that, I think I can understand the reason why. Because if you have this high caliber match kicking off the show on ESPN, you might be able to get more people to buy, immediately buy, a subscription to watch the rest of the show. I think that's the reason why they would do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, we'll definitely, see how they pan out the card. Hopefully, maybe we actually do get some kind of released card in order, maybe, to kind of go after and kind of pick apart. But we will wait and see.
Yep.
So, we'll be live streaming next week. Giving all the oohs, the ahs, the gasps, all that fun stuff.
I'll be live streaming on Twitch on night one.
All right.
On my Twitch.
So, yeah. So, we'll hopefully this WrestleMania actually does feel like a WrestleMania. So,
we'll see.
Yep.
This is the Lockdown Podcast. Peace.